Hey guys, my name's Jackie and I am doing my first ever YouTube video. Um, I decided to make this video because around 4 weeks ago I was going through what I call a really bad dairy detox. And at the time I was looking on YouTube, looking on Google, Instagram for people that had gone through the same thing. And I promised myself that if I made it out alive, because I honestly felt like I was going to die at the time, I would make a YouTube video for somebody else to watch when they were going through it, and hopefully it would help somebody to realize the symptoms that they're going through is a detox and that it's totally normal. So here I am. A little bit about me is that I decided to experiment with cutting out different food groups about 4 months ago when I found out I had precancerous cells in my cervix and I'm trying to heal naturally. And I also have Hashimoto's hypothyroidism and I'm trying to heal that naturally too. So I decided around 3-4 months ago to cut out a lot of different food groups, refined sugar, gluten, preservatives, essentially a lot of things that just aren't natural, toxins, chemicals, switched my toothpaste, my deodorant, and just did a whole bunch of lifestyle changes. The one thing I didn't cut out though was dairy. So once I cut out these initial food groups, I didn't really experience any difference in my symptoms. I felt a little bit better, but I didn't, feel amazing, and I didn't go through what I would call a detox. Previously, I've cut out all of these things before, like I'd say 2 years ago I cut them out, and I didn't go through a detox then either. But yeah, the one thing I was determined not to cut out was dairy, and the reason for that is because I would never ever get a sore stomach, no bloating, no pain, no running to the toilet after eating a block of cheese. I just never thought dairy was my issue. I would say to people, no, I'm not going to cut out dairy. Like, I don't get any symptoms, so why would I? And I was always kind of like, eating a food and then trying to say, oh, is my stomach sore after that? Well, no. Okay, well, then that's not my issue. That's what I would say. Anyway, after 3 or 4 months of doing this initial cull of certain food groups, I decided that, it wasn't enough. I needed to up my game because I wasn't seeing a massive difference in my symptoms. So I called my friend Sarah, who is extremely knowledgeable in all of this stuff, and she said to me, Jackie, have you considered cutting out dairy? And I said, no, Sarah, I'm not cutting it out. I don't care what you say. I love dairy. It's not happening. I then had an appointment booked in with a naturopath, and she suggested that I cut out dairy. So I thought, paying this woman so much money, I should probably just listen to her recommendations. So I decided to cut dairy, and, I had already cut out cream, butter, milk, ice cream, all the main dairy things. The only time I ate dairy was if I was adding cheese to like a lentil pasta that I was cooking, or some soup, or, a healthy parmigiana. That was the only time I was eating dairy. It was in the form of cheese. So I thought, how hard can this be? I'll just cut out cheese for a couple of days and see how I go. Didn't think anything of it at all, literally nothing. Around day 4 of me not eating cheese or dairy, I woke up feeling like a bus had hit me. Literally the worst pain I've ever imagined in my neck, in my back, my joints, my bones, my muscles, everything was aching. The day progressed and everything got worse. I was dizzy, I was shaking. By nighttime I had a fever, and at this time I had really sore pain in like all around here, my nose and under my eyes. So that's common symptoms of sinus. So here I am thinking, okay, I've got a sinus infection. That's what I have. I called my sister, who normally always gets sinus infections, and she's like, yeah, you've got a sinus infection. You need antibiotics. And I was like, oh, anyone who knows me knows the hell that I've been through with my gut health, and how the last thing I want is antibiotics to go and push me right back to where I had previously come from. So I booked an appointment with a doctor the next morning, who said to me, look, it sounds like you do have an infection, but you can try and do some natural remedies first, and if it's still bad by Monday, come back and we'll put you on antibiotics. So I said, cool. So I, got my natural remedies, some colloidal silver spray that I was spraying up my nose. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, it's like, a natural antibiotic. I did all that kind of stuff, but my symptoms were just getting worse. So I was getting, again, really bad fever, shakes, headache, couldn't move from bed, loss of appetite, dizziness, diarrhea, everything, restlessness, the works. Anyone who knows me knows that I never nap during the day. I'm never really sick. I actually don't think I had been this sick since I was a kid. Like thinking back, I can't even remember the last time that I had a fever or anything like this. So to my family, to my fiance, to my friends, they were like, oh, what's wrong? Why is she in bed? It's like 11 o'clock in the morning, or it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She's in bed. Anyway, my mum was starting to freak out. She's very paranoid. When I get sick, she freaks out. So she's like, Jackie, you've got a fever. This isn't good. You need to go, to the doctors again. I was like, Mum, I saw the doctor yesterday. Like, I'm not going back. Now, at the time, it's Melbourne, COVID, and we're in a massive lockdown. So the slightest sniffle, and everyone thinks you're diseased. Everyone thinks you've got COVID. Oh my God, you need to go get tested. So I was getting bombarded with, you've got all the symptoms for COVID. You've probably got COVID. Go and get tested. Or, you've got a virus. You've got a bacterial infection. So I messaged my friend Sarah again, and I was like, Sarah, I feel like crap. These are my symptoms. What's going on? Like, I've cut out all this food. I'm meant to be feeling my absolute best, and I'm feeling my worst. And she goes, wow, it sounds like you might be detoxing. It's an actual thing. And she sent me a link to an article which pretty much explained all of the symptoms that I was going through. And the article was explaining how when you cut out certain foods, your body detoxes. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think of this. Like, I've cut out so many foods previously, and, I've never detoxed. Anyway, I had all the symptoms on this article, but I still wasn't convinced 100% that it was a detox. Like, I thought, probably, but what if I'm not? What if I'm sick? What if I've got a virus? What if I've got COVID? Now, for anyone who's going to comment on this and say, oh, you should have gotten tested, well, no, I was pretty much in a house by myself, not seeing anyone and not going anywhere. So I wasn't putting anybody at risk, but I also didn't feel comfortable with going and getting a swab all the way up my nose. I've had it once and I hated it. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to get tested. As long as I'm not putting anyone else at risk, I think I'm happy to stick it out for a couple of days. I believe in my immune system. If I need to, I'll go in a couple of days. So yeah, that's what I did. And let me just say, those couple of days were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I have never been this sick before. I guess the purpose for this video is to explain to people that, well, not even explain to people. Now you know that a detox is a thing, but I think the one thing that helped me the most was mentally believing that I was going through a detox. So I was YouTubing a lot of videos to try and find if detox was actually a thing. Is it something that, a lot of people go through, or am I just making this up that I'm going through a detox? I mean, like, my mum's saying that I've probably got a virus, but then my friend's saying I'm detoxing. I did cut out cheese, but surely that is not going to make me this sick. Like, how can cutting dairy make me this sick is what I was thinking, right? So I was YouTubing. I found one YouTube video of a girl who was Australian, just so happened to be Australian. Nothing against anybody else, but yeah, she was Australian. So I felt like I could relate to her more. And she was telling her YouTube followers about detoxification and what the different symptoms, and then there was all these comments of people saying that they're going through the same thing. And then I also found one article on Google which explained it. Other than that, I swear there was nothing. Like, I had to just troll through hours and hours and hours of comments to try and find, justification that what I was going through was, was a real detox. Also, a lot of people didn't say that they had fevers. Like, I didn't really find anybody who said, yeah, I've got a fever. So the fact that I had a fever, I was like, all right, well, maybe this isn't detoxing because people aren't feeling fevers, and maybe this is something more. So yeah, I promised myself that if I got through it, I would let everybody know that having a fever is actually really normal when you detox. It obviously indicates that your body's going through a really, really hard time trying to get out all the toxins. And that obviously indicates that you should rest and do all these different things. But yeah, it does happen. If this is you, it happened to me. And yeah, I guess mentally this video is to try and help you guys to believe that your body is detoxing, because if you believe that your body is detoxing, you'll understand that what you're going through is for the greater good, and what you're going through means that your body's just getting rid of all the excess toxins and all the crap, as I like to call it, and that at the end of all this, you're going to come out feeling 100%. Now, let's flash forward from the time where I was detoxing to now. After I'd finished my detox, it lasted for about 5 to 7 days, which a lot of people say theirs last longer. So if you're watching this and it lasts longer than 5 to 7 days, please don't freak out and think that there's something else wrong with you. It may not be the case. It may just be your detox takes longer. Yeah, about 4 weeks after my detox, I got a allergy test from a naturopath who confirmed that my biggest allergy is milk, a couple of different types of milk, and casein, which is found in dairy. So essentially my biggest allergy is dairy, which absolutely blew my mind because I was like, I've never had one single symptom from dairy. And here I am having a massive allergy to dairy, which clearly explains why the detox I went through was absolutely horrible. Again, I'm not saying that if you have a really bad detox that you're allergic to dairy. And I also don't want this video to be just about dairy. You could have a detox if you change like a big food group, if you're cutting out gluten, refined sugar, changing from a meat eating diet to a vegan diet, which a lot of the videos I found was about vegan detox. But yeah, I guess the positive test, when I say positive, I mean positive to dairy being an allergy, definitely solidified in my mind that everything I went through was definitely a detox, and the naturopath confirmed that she believes it was too. And yeah, after all the research I've done, it's definitely a thing. So I guess I'll talk about what I did to try and overcome the detox at the time, to try and help, speed along the process and feel better. And one of the biggest things was drinking water, and not just tap water, not water that's filled with toxins and chemicals and whatever. If anyone is watching this and they're in Australia, I bought Pure AU water, which is, you can get it from Woolworths or Coles. It has no chlorine, no aluminium, no fluoride, none of that like yucky stuff. Because I didn't really want to be putting more toxins into my body when my body was trying to get rid of them. So I was drinking about 3 to 4 litres a day of that. Lots of rest and lots of sleep, more than I ever have. I avoided taking Panadols and Nurophens for my fever. I mean, I did when my fever was getting pretty high, 39 degrees or 40 degrees. I did take Panadols because I also didn't want to punish myself. I was just like, my body needs it. I need to get this fever down. I didn't want to be, didn't want to create a different problem. So I took it. But if you can avoid taking that stuff, then you probably should, because yeah, you don't really want to be putting more stuff into your body when your body's trying to get it out. Dry brushing was another big thing that helped me, because when your body is going through a detox, what I've read is that it's all these toxins kind of like built up, and your lymphatic system is struggling to get it out. So dry brushing in a particular way, and if you YouTube how to dry brush, it will show you how to do it, actually helps to clear your lymphatic system and helps to like improve the detoxification process. I also stopped taking some of my supplements for the week, so I didn't want to overload my body with stuff. I literally just had water and foods that were really easy to digest, like soups and stuff that weren't hard on my stomach. And just waited it out, I guess. Positive mindset was huge. Knowing that what I was going through was for the greater good and for my health and for getting better, and thinking about myself being the healthiest version of myself after I come out of it was huge. So if you're going through this, please try to do that. It will definitely help. And yeah, I guess that's it. This is the only reason why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to make it short and quick. If you've gone through a detox and you're experiencing detox symptoms, comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And I might add that I don't want this video, like, I'm not a professional. I've got no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to, the technical terms in terms of detoxing and things like that. I also don't want people to watch this and think, she didn't go to the doctors, I'm not going to go to the doctors, or, she didn't think it was a virus, so it must not be a virus. I honestly just had this feeling inside that it was a detox because of my dietary changes. But you should definitely go to the doctors to get their opinion and then see what they say.